There are some strange rules in New Zealand, and one of them is that it's illegal to advertise your services as a witch. So I thought I'd explain why. So here's a brief history of how this came to life. In 1951, New Zealand passed a law called the Witchcraft Act. This was actually in response to the popularity of Scientology at the time. Now, Scientology has some beliefs that are kind of at odds with what most people believe, including that there are things called engrams that can be implanted in your mind and that these engrams can cause illnesses. They also believed that you could extract these things by auditing people. So in 1951, Scientology was starting to become popular in New Zealand, and there were people who were claiming to be experts in this practice of extracting these things from your mind. And so they would offer their services to help people who were mentally ill. This caused a bit of an issue because these people were not qualified mental health practitioners. So the government at the time decided to make a law that basically said that if you were going to claim that you can help people with mental issues, then you need to be a registered psychologist or psychiatrist. But that law didn't just apply to Scientologists. It applied to anyone who was claiming to have these kinds of powers. This included mediums and psychics, and anyone who claimed to be a witch or a wizard. And so this law has been on the books ever since. However, it wasn't until recently that it was enforced. In 2003, a woman named Tonya Carricker was running a small business. She was a psychic and a medium and an energy healer, and she started to advertise her services online and in local newspapers. After seeing her ads, the government sent her a letter saying that she had violated the Witchcraft Act because she was advertising her services as a psychic and a medium, and that she could not do that because she was not a registered psychologist or psychiatrist. She took this to court, and the court ruled against her. She appealed this decision, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court of New Zealand. Now, her lawyers argued that this law violated her freedom of expression and that it was vague and overbroad. However, the court ruled that the law was a reasonable limit on her freedom of expression because it was a law that was protecting people from being exploited by false promises of healing. The court also said that the law was not overbroad and that it only applied to people who were offering their services to help people with psychological or mental issues. It did not apply to people who were just offering their services as fortune tellers or palm readers. So, following this ruling, the government added a little bit of clarification to the law. They said that you could advertise your services as a psychic or a medium if you were doing it for entertainment purposes only. So if you're just a fortune teller or a palm reader, you don't have to be a psychologist or psychiatrist. But if you're claiming that you can heal people or help them with their mental health, then you do need to be a psychologist or psychiatrist. But why does New Zealand care so much about this? Why not just let people believe whatever they want and let them use whatever services they want? Well, the government's argument is that people who are vulnerable, such as those with mental health issues, should be protected from those who would exploit them for financial gain. What do you think? Is this a reasonable law, or does it go too far? Let me know in the comments below. If you like strange news from around the world, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.